Hello, welcome to Motorhouse and Why Are Cars? Something I love about the Practical Classic shows is there is such a diversity of cars here. There's the Cortina Mark III Club, Saab Owners Club. Look at this, we've got Saabs galore. And then what's going to be around the corner? Well, the Ford Probe Owners Club. I think this is one of the most diverse shows you will see in the classic and retro calendar. And it's wonderful to see this sense of shared community. And certainly it tells you that, look, the classic car scene is alive and kicking. The evidence is right here. The Mazda MX5, the world's biggest selling sports car, and a car that still has a massive, massive enthusiast following. And something I find really interesting is that a car that was originally released in the late 1980s as an homage to all of those classic British and Italian roadsters, well, it's actually lived on longer than those cars have now and has overtaken the MGB to be the world's biggest selling sports car. And of course, you can't talk about the MX5 without seeing modified cars. And we're here on the MX5 Owners Club, and there's a hive of activity. There's people working on cars, showing off their modified cars. I've had a few MX5s before. If you've never driven one, it's a really good experience. And I'd say the best route into feeling the dynamics of a rear-wheel drive car you can find. But now the thorny question, what's your favorite generation of MX5? The flippy floppy headlampy uppy downy Mark 1 like this, or maybe you prefer the angry cat ND version? What's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. You might be wondering, Bob, why you stood by an absolutely wrecked Austin Allegro? Come on, aren't there more interesting cars to film? Well, no, because this represents a very unique and very interesting bit of British motorsport history. So yes, this is a very rusty, very tired Austin Allegro that, as you can see, has had a bit of a mishap. But this, believe it or not, was in fact a works competition motorsport Austin Allegro. Now, the history is a little bit vague. This is owned by a friend of mine, Andy Harrison from A-Speed, who does amazing stuff with BL, BMC machinery, is really well known for racing and preparing minis. But Andy owned this car in the late 80s after it had been owned by Leyland. He campaigned this for a couple of years and then sold it on to a new owner. Now, the history of the car in that interim period of time is a bit hazy and we'd love to know more. The car is known as Nodge after its registration number, and there are details online, but as you can see, in the intervening years between Andy buying the car back, it's had a bit of a mishap. So in a way, it is quite wild that it survived to this day, because thankfully, someone did recognise the importance of it. Someone put it away at the back of a shed for all of those years, and it still exists. And I know personally from Andy that he has absolutely the intention of restoring this car back to the way that it competed in period. And who knows, maybe at a race retro in the future, we'll see this going around the track. But what's your thoughts? Would you restore this? Would you save it? What's your favourite weird rally car? Let me know in the comments, because a works Austin Allegro rally car, well, that's quite a weird one. So one of the things I love about the Practical Classic shows and the classic car community in general is the people you bump into. And I'm here with my good friend Andy Talbot.
Hello, Bob.
And a new YouTuber who I haven't met in person yet, but I know you from YouTube. Please introduce yourself for the viewers.
My name's Trevor, and I'm from Oscar's Garage.
Oscar's Garage, the man that does all of the detective work on where our favourite TV cars have gone.
I spend hours and hours in the corners of Google and the internet where most people don't bother to go to find out history on lost cars from TV, film, and all sorts of places.
Yeah, no, it's a good watch. It's a good watch. So go and head over to, what is it on YouTube?
Oscar's Garage.
Oscar's Garage. Go and check that out. Good stuff. So we've only just got here. How long have you been here, Andy?
It took you that long to get through that toll when I passed you.
Yeah.
Well, I've been here about an hour or so, but I kind of networking this weekend, and I keep bumping into Trevor and yourself, and yeah, it's just good for it's a community sort of place, isn't it? And it's only 3 halls, so you can kind of find people. Whereas if you go to the November show, as good as it is, and you can spend the whole weekend and not bump into the person you wanted to see. But,
absolutely. Trevor, what are you looking forward to seeing here today? Anything in particular?
Not in particular. Well, I like Andy. I love the real club vibe that this place has got. And it's the networking side as well. And I just like those things that you don't see anywhere else that have been hidden away for years and suddenly come out. The Bentley Special over there, I think, is absolutely glorious.
Ooh.
And up in the barn find, there are some really rare early Japanese cars that came to the UK, right-hand drive, like early 1970s Mazdas, which I couldn't even picture in my head.
Exactly. Basically extinct.
It's the dodo of cars.
And what's amazing is that every year you do find brand new things. I mean, there's sometimes the same old stuff, but yeah, I mean, it is incredible what comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
I think there are more barns than barn finds, I think.
How many?
No, more barn finds than barns.
Yeah, it's true.
If you go to the Doomsday Book, it'll say barn finds and barns. Sort of, there's an anomaly there somewhere.
Which is where you're going to find 1970s Japanese cars, right?
Yeah, very much so. And there's a really rare, a Lee Francis, and you think, oh, Lee Francis, that's the one all the old sort of dead people are interested in. Well, that's that kind of brand, isn't it? It's sort of flat cap territory, that kind of thing. Our sort of northerner here will know about that. But it's the sort of rebirth of it from around about 1990. I think there was only about 10 or 15 of them.
Really?
built,
I had no idea.
And this one was the unfinished one found in the back of the factory.
That's
and it's
wild.
over there in the barn find section. It's absolutely incredible.
That's wild. Well, look, as you can see, sounds like we need to get into the show and have a look around. But gents, lovely to catch up with you. We'll grab a coffee or an alcoholic beverage later.
Yeah. In the womb.
You're around. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, it's me and my big mouth.
Yeah, glad you got here finally through the toll as well. That Volvo, you need to get a different car.
It needs a great big turbo, that's what it needs. Oh, wow, it's all over. We've just had the alert. We've got to go home. The show's done for another year. But wow, as always, wonderful people here, wonderful cars, wonderful experiences, and I hope you've enjoyed our coverage of this year's 2026 Practical Classics and Restoration Show. Now, if you'd like to see more content like this, please do me a big favour, give us a like, share to your friends, and most importantly, please subscribe. From me, Mr. Bob, it's goodbye, and goodbye from another episode of Motorhouse. For more videos from the 2026 Practical Classics Restoration Show, be sure to subscribe, as we'll be dropping new videos from the show over the coming days. And if you want to watch our full show coverage, then we made a handy playlist you'll find in the description. That's the one, innit? That's the one.